was talking about. But let's hear out what the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has to say on the sidelines of the 12th SBI Banking and Economics Conclave.
Strategic self-reliance, and finally environmental but yet mix of energy sufficiency and so on. So environment not just in the cause of green but also self-sufficiency in those very critical essentials for growth. So it will be on these 5 pillars that I would be placing my narrative to say what is it that we are thinking in terms of when we are talking of Aatmanirbhar Bharat and also reaching Viksit Bharat by 2047, giving a picture under each of what work has already happened. The call for 2047 Viksit Bharat may have been just a few years old, but the work towards achieving Viksit Bharat through an Aatmanirbhar route had commenced even from 2014. So even as I lay these 5 pillars before you and talk about Aatmanirbhar Bharat in those areas, I'll equally place before you what foundational work has happened in order that what we need to do for the next 20 years is going to be built on those foundational work. So when I talk of economic Aatmanirbharta, it means the nation's ability to generate its own prosperity, and that too through diversified production, internal value chains and value chain creations, and sustainable wealth creation. So India is a vast and uniquely diverse nation. There is no single model before us for us to copy or to replicate. And therefore what we are going to do is essentially build on those lived-in experiences and also the models which will be adaptable for India's own futuristic growth. So it should be shaped by our own realities. And when I therefore say of economic Aatmanirbharta, it will definitely mean food security. It will definitely mean energy security, which will also be a part of what I'm finally talking on, environment-related issues. Giving full steam and full energy for MSMEs because they contribute more than 40% of our economic, let's say the export, also the contribution to GDP through various sectors in which MSMEs are present. And also the labor-intensive and traditional strength-carrying textiles and unique for India, underwhelming exploitation which has happened, the area which gives immense potential for employment, and an area which should have been naturally our strength, tourism. So I will look at these broad-based progress in these areas, achieving across these sectors, and here blending traditional sectors, modern technology, and innovation-based work. So there is definitely too many variables coming into this calculation for economic Aatmanirbharta, but that's the beauty of it, and that's where the Samajik Aatmanirbharta, which is also one of the pillars about which I will talk, have a overlap. So in all this, and since it's a gathering of SBI's invited guests, the first thing I would emphasize on is financial inclusion. The more number of people who are brought to the formal financial inclusion process, and the more number of people who are going to benefit in their economic activity through banking extensions, the economy is going to be that much more robust. So for that, we need a robust banking and financial ecosystem. That will be my second emphasis. And the third, above all, which exclusively comes to the state government's domain and the central government's domain, is fiscal prudence. So economic Aatmanirbharta will be achieved only when we keep all these factors in our mind. So what efforts have gone? Since I started by saying from 2014 itself, there have been a lot of attempts to do the foundational work for the achievement of Viksit Bharat. You might have heard these statistics before, but I'm just giving you the nuggets. It tells you where consistency in policy, stability in governance, and pursuing every particular money that is going down to the last post, welfare or infrastructure creating, you are looking at taking the money allocated in the budget to the last point. So infrastructure creation has been our major focus in order that our self-reliance really stands on proper footing. So your economic self-reliance is not going to be realizable without adequate and also proper infrastructure. So look at what has happened in the last decade. The capital expenditure allocation has increased nearly 5 times, where it was closer to 2013-14. It was actually at 2.30 lakh crores. And where is it today? 11.21 lakh crores. So that is the proverbial putting the money where the mouth is. We've actually shown it in the last 10 years. And I closely monitor how much actually gets spent much before my RE numbers are fixed. So it is with that seriousness that allocation is followed till the last post where it has to reach. So national highways therefore grew by 60%, and where it was 11.6 kilometers per day in 2014, it has reached 34 kilometers per day in laying of these national highways. So is the metro rail connectivity. 23 cities in India now have metro. Some of them complete and up and running, a few where the work is still on. So from about 250 kilometers, which was in 2014, today India has 1,000 kilometers of metro lines in operation. So if you look at then port capacity, it doubled to 2,762 MMTPAs. Overall vessel turnaround time, which is very important in terms of trade facilitation, has improved from 93 hours to 49 hours now. So we have undertaken countless path-breaking ease of doing business reforms since 2014. I don't need to remind this August gathering that 1,500 archaic laws have been removed, 45,000 compliances have also been removed. The goods and services tax reforms, new generation GST, is something about which we've spoken severally in the last couple of weeks, essentially focusing on rate reduction, you would think, but I would think rate reduction, yes, but process simplification, classification clarity are also part of this GST next generation reforms. I'm here on the invitation of SBI, so it will be only very proper to say banks have helped in economic Aatmanirbhar Bharat by aiding financial inclusion and credit creation. So a big credit to our Indian banking banks. Today we have 56 crore Jan Dhan accounts. So financial inclusion actually getting executed through the banks in the ground. 52 Mudra loan accounts Yojana, 52 lakh I think, and 70 lakh PM Swanidhi loans, creating a large pool of young entrepreneurs at the local level, tier 3, tier 2 level, and they belong particularly to marginalized groups. So social inclusion, compassion, making sure that everybody participates are reflected in these sort of numbers that you see. These schemes have actually democratized finance and brought economic independence at the grassroots level. Much is spoken about the PLI scheme. I'll just give one pointer. PLI schemes have witnessed exports surpassing 5.31 lakh crores, which is around 61.76 billion US dollars. Would we have imagined PLI schemes, which were launched sometime in the middle of this tenure, PM Modi's third tenure, in the middle of these 15-12 years, have already yielded positive results, and 12 lakh direct and indirect employment has been generated because of that. So if this much can be said about economic Aatmanirbharta, the social Aatmanirbharta is the one which I would like to just give you a few pointers to say. That's my second pillar. I said it has to be laid on the foundation of 4 or 5. This is my second. Social self-reliance, like Antyodaya, actually has empowered people who actually individually on their own couldn't have made any difference in getting some more dignity and security into their life and bringing in opportunity. But we need to change from patronage-based support to irreversible empowerment and independence. I think this line is one fundamental reason why we were able to lift out of multi-dimensional poverty such a large number of people. And that couldn't have been realized without the approach of empower people and not really patronize them. So that has actually brought the difference. I would actually say our goal must be a society and people that stand on their own feet, confident, caring, and united. Self-belief and collective strength must replace dependence and helplessness. So what are our efforts towards achieving social self-reliance? The compare and contrast or understand where the foundational work has already happened. In the last 11 years, PM Prime Minister Modi led NDA government has launched efficiently several welfare schemes, and some of which I would like to not just highlight but also talk about the collateral that it has given. 4 crore people have got PM Awas Yojana, data something which all of you all know about. 15 crore plus people have got tap water connections. 12 crore toilets have been built. 10 crore LPG gas cylinders have been given for those who get the subsidy as well. 81 crore people have got free ration. But if this is one set of data, more important and that which appeals to me a lot is the digital public infrastructure enabled direct benefit transfers. And direct benefit transfers may mean immensely a lot for the person who receives money or the welfare whatever allowance directly into his account. It's a brilliant idea for the person because he doesn't lose out on being taken away for middlemen.